Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies Man once again, and today we're going to be doing another manga first impressions review. Today we're going to be looking at Dolly Kill Kill, written by Kuranodo Yukiaki and illustrated by Yusuke Nomura, who also did art for something by the Yagan creator. I can't remember if it's Blue Lock or Grass Ross, but it's one of those two. I think it's Blue Lock. Double check if I'm wrong though. But yeah, so it's published by Kodansha. You can only buy it digitally as far as I'm aware. And I got it on a sale that Kodansha had at one point. It was like, you know, a bunch of volumes, a bunch of volume ones were up on Bookwalker for like 50 cents a piece. And I bought a few. The demographic here is shonen as far as I can tell. When I looked online, it said it was published by Manga Box. But then Manga Box seems to be a web app and it's not actually a magazine. And I couldn't really tell what genre, or sorry, what demographic it fell under. But other series that were there, I remember posting as shonen. So we're gonna go with this as a shonen. It might not be. It really doesn't make a difference though. I just like to put the demographic because I think it's an interesting kind of thing to notice that a lot of series that you think are seinen or shonen might actually be something else or be the opposite of what you thought, right? So it doesn't really matter what the demographic is. It's just something I like mentioning because I think it's interesting, right? So I think the demographic is shonen, but it might be seinen, and if it is, I'm sorry, I messed up, I apologize. And the genres here are basically action and horror of some kind. It's not really my cup of tea. I would say this is body horror, more or less, because everything is just kind of grotesque. It's not really like scary, but it's not really my cup of tea regardless. Adaptations wise, this doesn't have one. I don't think it can anyways. There's something like 6 volumes of this story or something like that, and it doesn't seem to be very popular. I did a bunch of quick Google searches and I couldn't find any anime for this, so I don't think there's an adaptation of it at all. So yeah, and the premise here is basically that there's, you know, this kid, his name's Iruma, he's playing baseball. He finishes the baseball game, and he and his team, alongside their team manager, which is a very cute girl, are hanging out at the pool, and something happens, very similar to Yagan actually, where just suddenly things start happening. There's these bees or wasps that come out of the sky and start biting people, or sorry, start, stinging people, not biting them. And people start melting and their bodies just start corroding where they got stung. And Iruma and his 2 friends, the guy that was with him, Masakun, I think is his name, and the girl, managed to escape this fate by being in the pool. They're all wet, and so the wasp can't touch them. And they managed to do this. It turns out that 99% of the population has been removed from the earth, and following the appearance of these wasps were also these gigantic dog creatures. They're humanoids, but they're kind of funky. There's 3 of them. There's the pregnant type, which is just some sort of scout. They just have a big swollen belly. There's the pygmy type, which are basically like, they look like giant toys, and they have these like weird sucker things, these vacuums that suck up human flesh. And these other ones called the plushie, which are very rare. And the thing is that our main character sees Masakun, his friend, die in front of him as he sacrifices himself to save Iruma and the girl that's with him, because there's this kind of love triangle situation. Eventually, Iruma and this girl are crossing a bridge. This thing falls and breaks the bridge apart and separates the 2 of them, and Iruma ends up on one side of the bridge free, and on the other side of the bridge, the girl's there, and there's a bunch of dollies chasing her. And so Iruma has this kind of character quirk where he's very positive. She asks him if she's going to be okay, and this is the one time that he can't be positive. He tells her, no, everything's fucked up. And so he thinks that she's died, and he runs away. So our main character is full of trauma, and he's a very edgelord MC type character. And then it evolves into him being alone for 6 months, and then suddenly finds some other people that are trying to kill the Dollys, and one of the Dollys that they're attacking seems to be the one that he has personal beef with, and so he's interested in fighting it. And the story ends with some sort of like there's this hint that he might do something, that he might transform, that he might do something different. And I don't know, I thought the art was really cool, but everything else about the story really isn't my vibe. I don't really like overtly edgy characters, and I also don't really like just like body horror, generic grotesque things. Like it doesn't really, it's not my vibe. I don't really hate it or dislike it or all that much. It's just something about this specific what's it called, manga just didn't really jibe with me, even though a lot of things that are very similar would, right? Like I really like Yagan, I like Lipnir, Attack on Titan, you know, these types of things. I like them, and Dolly Kill Kill is more or less in that kind of sphere of things. But for some reason, this one just didn't really attract me. I think it's because I don't really care about any of the characters. And, you know, characters are kind of the one thing that I really enjoy the most, because at the end of the day, most manga have very generic plot lines. Even though they're interesting and exciting, the best part is always the characters and the world building that goes into these storylines, right? So it is what it is. That's all I have to say about this manga. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.